We have some changes to Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor Society loyalty program. And Carnival Cruise Lines, well, they're making a little change for upcoming sailings, specifically ones over spring break. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. Alright, Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor Society, they're making a couple of changes, a couple of tweaks to the loyalty program for those that are Emerald and above. So Emerald, Diamond, Diamond Plus, and Pinnacle level members. So Emerald and above, just a couple of minor changes. So starting on March 10th, Emerald guests will no longer have to pre-select their welcome beverage prior to boarding. And instead, you're going to receive additional complimentary water bottles in your stateroom. Now for Diamond and above members, in addition to the 4 drinks a day that you already get, you're now going to get 20% off of bottles of wine that are over $100 and 40% off of bottles of wine that are under $100. Diamond Plus and Pinnacle members will be getting new toiletry bags and updated totes. So just a couple of minor changes to Royal Caribbean's loyalty program, but if you're, Emerald, Diamond, or above, just something you can be aware of for your upcoming cruise. And finally, Carnival Cruise Lines, well, they've made a change for their upcoming cruises here over spring break, and they are sending out extra reminders about behavior, policies, and the code of conduct on board their cruise ships prior to these cruises as well. Now, we've already had a message from Christine Duffy, the president of Carnival Cruise Lines. Carnival has already been sending out emails prior to cruises letting people know about what is expected behavior-wise from them while they're on board the ship, what the rules are, and the consequences of breaking those rules. Well, with spring break coming up, when they're expecting a younger, more college-age crowd on some of their sailings, they're kind of sending out reinforcement emails, and these emails include a couple of changes. You will be sailing with us during spring break, which is traditionally a period of high occupancy. As part of our commitment to create the best environment to provide a fun and memorable vacation for all, we would like to remind you of our safety first guidelines. So if you've been on a cruise recently, I'm sure you've gotten one of these emails. We've talked about this in previous videos, and this is your respect to your fellow cruise passenger. Look, we're all sharing the same ship. We all have to have respect for each other. You have to acknowledge Carnival's code of conduct, which is to make people aware of behavioral expectations and the consequences of not meeting those expectations. Now, but for spring break, there's going to be a couple of additional changes. Now, understand, this is only for spring break cruises, which is March and a little bit into April. So this is not a permanent policy change. This is just over spring break. Now, this includes the requirement to use earphones when listening to music or watching shows or movies on mobile devices in public areas. The confiscation of portable speakers and large stereos, which will be returned at the end of the cruise, and the prohibition on saving deck chairs or lounge seats. All seating is first come, first served. So the big one from this, the actual real big change in this, is that no Bluetooth speakers, portable stereos are going to be allowed on the cruise ship. And that includes even if you're planning on only using it in your room, because they can put it in the room, take it out on your balcony, turn it up real loud, still disturb your neighbors. They don't want anybody taking it up on the Lido deck, sitting down at a table, turning up your music, and interfering with other cruise passengers. So at least for spring break, they are going to be confiscating any type of Bluetooth speakers. And this is what I said, it's only during spring break, so they said this is a temporary policy. But if you do have a cruise in March, the beginning of April, just don't take your Bluetooth speaker with you, because they will take it away and will not give it back to you until the end of the cruise. Now, as far as headphones in, while you're listening to your music, watching a show, listening to the news up on deck, whatever the case may be, you should have already been using headphones. That's just common sense. It's just common courtesy to those around you. And they've always discouraged and said you're not supposed to save seats. It's never really been enforced. Will they enforce that here over spring break? Well, we're going to have to wait and see if people actually report that they're stopping people from saving seats. Because seat savers has been an issue on cruise lines, for as long as I've been cruising, and it doesn't even matter which cruise line it is. I'm sure you've been up on deck, Lido deck, first thing in the morning, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and already find people's things out on lounge chairs next to the pool. No sign of those people. Pool doesn't open for a couple hours, but their stuff will already be out there. We've all seen it before. So the question is, are the cruise lines going to actually enforce these policies? Now, as far as Carnival goes, I've heard stories recently where we're seeing more and more of the drug dogs in cruise terminals prior to boarding. I've heard reports that there's been more security seen walking around on the cruise ships. So it sounds like Carnival is gearing up, getting ready to enforce their policies more, particularly here over spring break. But again, it's going to be a wait and see. Are they just all talk, or are they actually going to be enforcing these policies? If you have an upcoming cruise and you happen to see any of this stuff going on, or if you know that Carnival has already started doing some of the stuff like prohibiting Bluetooth speakers on board the ship, hey, let us know in the comments below. I'm curious to see if Carnival's going to be all talk, or if they're actually going to be a cruise line of action. All right, and that's going to be our cruise news video for today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day, and like always, we will see you out on the high seas.